Hey guys, today we're going to take a look at this Marshall. It's a Studio Classic SC20 head. It's basically a mini JCM, probably what I would have named it. I would have named it the mini JCM800. Nothing wrong with calling it a studio though, but personal taste. Now, I used to have a JCM800, but it's not one of the sought after ones. It was the 2-channel with the clean and dirty channel. Didn't enjoy it, got rid of it quickly. So I was always like, JCMs just don't sound the way people think they sound to me. I don't know why. And lately I've been watching Verta. His channel, he does a lot of shootouts between all 3 of these studio heads. And I thought it sounded killer. And I was like, maybe I should revisit that. I've never heard a JCM in person that wasn't like on an album or a band on stage. I've never actually had my hands on one and got to play them. So I'm pleasantly surprised the way it sounds and the way it reacts. I have the master at like 7. I'm on the high output because there's a high and low, so you can do like 20 watts and I think 5 watts. I'm going into a captor, into Wall of Sound and Reaper. In Wall of Sound, I'm using a exciter and an EQ to push out a little bit more highs, because the way I set it to get the amount of gain I want, it really adds a lot of bass to the signal. So you're going to need some sort of way to compensate, like maybe a EQ pedal in a loop, because this one actually has a loop. Like the older JCMs didn't have a loop, this one has a loop, and I couldn't be happier the way this thing works out. So we're just going to run through it, tweak a few knobs, got a couple different pedals I'm going to turn on. Anyway, let's get to it. I'm using a cheap EC256 LTD, stock pickups, super overdrive. I may use a linear power booster, and I also have a bender from JHS. And we'll do that. We'll do high sensitivity, low sensitivity. We'll check it all out. Anyway, let's get to it. That's got the preamp gain about 8. Let's take it all the way up. We're going to dial the preamp gain back to about 4. And that's one thing I've noticed. When you start dialing the gain back, it gets a little bit more quacky, a lot more high end comes through, and the more you dial the gain up, the more the low end comes through. So depending on how you're trying to set it, that might be something to think about when you're dialing in this amp. We'll turn the SD one on now and see what it sounds like. It might be too bright. I've never really ran it this way. We're going to find out. tames the, it feels like it tames the EQ a little bit. Here, let's turn it off. You heard when I kicked it on, it pushed more of those mids out, so it shaped it in a way to make it a little bit more pleasing to the ear. Okay, so you could probably hear when I was turning it off and on there. Now we'll go to, let's take the presence and turn it back to about 2. I like the presence around anywhere between 6 to 7. The bass I usually have maxed. Let's take the bass down to about 2 or 3. I turned the SD1 on there. I don't know if you could hear it when it came on, but I'll just chug on the E and you'll hear me turn it off and on. And I believe that's why the SD1 is such a classic pedal, because it really pairs, like it should come standard issue with the amp. When you sell this amp, sell it with an SD1. Combine the two together and just be done with it. Alright, so we're going to take the bass. Let's take it back about 6. Take the bass back up where I like it. Now we're going to take the mids down to about 2 o'clock, or 2 on the dial rather. If you heard it when I turned it back up, it really fills out the signal. So I'm just gonna, like I said, hit an E chord and move that dial around and see if you can hear what it does to the EQ. That's the first time I actually dialed the mids all the way out too. Sounds pretty cool with the SD1 on. So let's do the treble. I have the mids back to about 7. Treble pretty much off. don't like the way the SD reacts to it. You gotta have some of that treble in there. So we're about 3 o'clock, well, 3 on the dial. Max the treble. Alright, so I got it set back the way I usually have it, which is everything is like 6 to 7 except for the bass maxed. The preamp is still low, it's on 4 because I want to try the power booster. So we're going to kick on the power booster to try to get a little bit more grunt. So on that setting, the power booster is not very well liked by the amp. So now let's try the bender from JHS. So it takes the bender really well. Power booster not so much, but the SD1, that's the sauce, man. And now we're going to go to the low sensitivity mode. We're going to lose a bit of volume, so I have to turn the master up a little bit higher. Bring the gain up a little bit. That's what the SD1, let's turn that off. like 9, so you can use this really clean. Now let's try the power booster. Just doesn't like it. Let's try the bender. This amp is highly versatile. You get stoner rock, you can get metal, you can do cleans. You can't do them all at the same time in a usable fashion because you can't really access the cleans and the metal. Maybe if you had like a high gain pedal, but this is the highest gain I got right now is the fuzz and the super overdrive, so I can't really, you know, attest to that how it would work in the low sensitivity, but judging from this, it would probably work pretty well. Let's take the SD1. Turn the gain up on it. Full gain on the SD. Let's take full gain on the preamp, low sensitivity. Yeah, so it's a killer amp. Like, I mean, you heard it. I did some glam. I did some just straight up power chord work. I did some fuzz with some stoner. I did some metal with the SD1. I mean, it's the amp I've been looking for, I guess, all this time, because you've seen it. I've been through a lot of amps. I'll probably go through a lot more. But this is a killer amp. So if you're looking for a JCM800 a little bit cheaper, I got this for like $1,000. I would have liked to get a little cheaper. Did I get it for $1,000? Yeah, it was about that, 900 through 1,000, something like that. Anyway, give it a shout. Maybe you'll dig it, maybe not, but it is a killer amp and it's a classic for a reason. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you could, like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, and let me know what your favorite Marshall amp is. All right, see you guys next time.